पर हो जिक्र तेरा, दिल में तेरी वफा हो। शैतान की हुकूमत मिट जाए इस जहां से, हाकम तमाम दुनिया पे मेरा मुस्तफा हो। महमूद उम्र मेरी कट जाए काश यूं ही, हो रूह मेरी सजदा में और सामने खुदा हो।
Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. Now, the translation of this poem will be presented by Master Atar Khan Sahib.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Translation of O Fazl Tera Yaru. Be it by thy grace, O Lord, or any kind of trial, we are satisfied with that, in which there is thy pleasure. Should I be obliterated and totally exterminated, I have no care whatsoever. If, however, my annihilation would enable the prolonged existence of the religion of Islam, in my bosom dwells the favor and honor and loyalty to thee, and in my eyes the perception of dignity. On my lips always thy name and memory, and in my heart forever loyalty to thee. Kingdom of Satan be erased from this universe. The ruler of the entire world is my beloved, thy chosen one, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. O Mahmud, my life would simply pass away from this early adobe. My spirit is always in the state of submission, whilst my God is always in front of me. Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. Now, according to the program, next is the speech on Khilafat in Islam. This speech will be presented by Brother Shahrukh Hussain Sahib. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Shahrukh Hussain. Can you hear us? Assalamu alaikum. Yes, your mic is unmute now. But we still can't hear you. Maybe you have to increase the volume of your mic. It's unmute, but we still can't hear you. Okay, no problem. So, Brother Shahrukh Hussain is trying to fix the issue. So we will wait. Hopefully, he will be able to sort this out, inshallah. It's showing us that your mic is connected, but there's no activity. Maybe you have some problem with your mic. I'm thinking we can come to your speech later, maybe, and in meantime you can fix your mic or try to log in to different device. Maybe that will be able to fix the issue, so we can move on to the next speaker, and then hopefully by then you will be able to sort this out. So then we'll come back. So the next speech is the institute.
Assalamualaikum. I think he has a problem with the audio, so we'll fix that and then he'll come back.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, jazakumullah. You can fix it and let us know when the problem is fixed, and then inshallah he can do the speech whenever he's ready. So the next speech is the Institution of Khilafat by Brother Aftabuddin Nasir Sahib. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum.
Yes.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. By the grace of Allah, today, May 27, mark 112 years since the Khilafat, the Ahmadiyya Khilafat has commenced. It is a very big milestone, and we have the conviction that Francis alayhi salam has said that not 300 years will pass when we'll see the theory of Isa alayhi salam coming down from the heavens that will go away. People will become really bored and not knowing what to do. And then we will see the triumph of Islam. So we are confident about this. And we know that Allah is with us. And so we believe that this Khilafat and this blessing that we are enjoying will last until Yawm al-Qiyamah. So to tell you about Khilafat, I would like to say that after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Muslim lost not only their prophet, but also their spiritual, religious, and political leader. The Holy Prophet had not designated any successor during his own lifetime, and the young Muslim community could not possibly survive without one. Someone had to lead the community and provide spiritual, social, legal, and political direction. A leader, therefore, had to be selected who would not only be accepted to the people, but also worthy of the Prophet's ideals and objectives. The choice of the Muslims fell on Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, who was then elected as the first Khalifa or successor of the Holy Prophet. This election or nomination of leaders in the Muslim community grew into an institution called the Khilafat or caliphate. Like many other Islamic institutions, the system of Khilafat changed and evolved over a period of time. Not all caliphs were elected in exactly the same manner, nor were the political conditions identical at the demise of each caliph that would merit the adoption of one fixed system of election. Similarly, not all caliphs were alike in their piety, statesmanship, courage, foresight, and charisma. As long as the Holy Prophet was alive, he kept the tribal rivalries that existed among Arabs. He kept the tribal rivalries in check. After his death, these rivalries came out in the open and played a significant role in manipulating the power vested in the office of the Khilafat. The system of Khilafat is, in one form or another, lasted for 626 years after the death of the Holy Prophet. During this period, 5 distinct caliphates existed among the Muslims, all belonging to the House of Quraysh. These were, number 1, the Pious Khilafat from the year 632 to 631, and this is the period that we know that the 4 Khulafa who served after the demise of Rasulullah SAW, which lasted for a period of about 29 or 30 years. And this is known as the Khulafa Rashida. The second is the Umayyad Khilafat of Damascus from 661 to 750 AD. The third is that of the Abbasid Khilafat of Baghdad from 750 to 1258 AD. And the fourth, the Umayyad Khilafat of Spain from 929 to 1031 AD. And the fifth and final is the Fatimid Khilafat of Egypt that ran from 909 to 1171 AD. You would note that some of these Khilafat, about 3 of them, they were going concurrently. It is also well known that the Holy Prophet also prophesied that Allah the Almighty would raise a reformer or mujaddid at the head of every century. The fulfillment of this came in the person of Hazrat Umar bin Abdul Aziz rahimahullah in the 1st century and ended with Hazrat Ahmad Raza Khan Brelwi rahimahullah in the 13th century. After the period of various Khilafat and even the advent of the reformers or mujaddideen, these reformers, as you know, they are called mujaddid, and the plural for reformers is mujaddideen. History tells us that the Ummah of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became as fragmented, exactly as he prophesied that his Ummah would be divided into one sect more than that of the children of Israel. We in the Ahmadiyya Jamaat believe, as many other Muslims also do, that the divine promise of Allah is to protect Islam and to bring about its ultimate triumph. The Holy Quran tells us in chapter 15, verse 10, and he it is who has caused the 2 seas to flow, this palatable and sweet, and that salt and bitter, and between them he placed a barrier and an insurmountable partition, unquote. There are many interpretations of this verse, but the last one is that God Almighty will protect and guard Islam. We therefore believe that the revival of Islam will come about according to the prophecy of the Holy Prophet as recorded, that prophethood shall remain among you as long as Allah shall will. He will bring about its end and follow it with Khilafat and the precepts of prophethood for as long as he shall will, and then bring about its end A tyrannical monarchy will then follow and will remain as long as Allah shall will, and then come to an end. They will follow, therefore, a monarchical despotism to last as long as Allah shall will, and come to an end upon His decree. There will then emerge Khilafat on the precept of prophethood. The Holy Prophet spoke no more. You will recall that this prophecy relates to what I earlier mentioned about the different periods of Khilafat. And I said the first period of Khilafat is the one which we believe to be that of the Khulafa Rashida, the one that had a piety and the one which Allah gave guidance to. And all these other Khilafat, they fall under the tyrannical monarchy and that of monarchical despotism. We understand from this prophecy that the Caliphate which was lost will be restored as a second manifestation for the unity of the Ummah. This is made very clear to us in the Holy Quran, where Allah says in chapter 24, verse 56, that is the recitation we heard in the beginning. Allah has promised to those among you who believe and do good works that He will surely make them successors in the earth, as He made successors from among those who were before them, and that He will surely establish for them their religion, which He has chosen for them, and He will surely guide them in exchange, give them in exchange security and peace after their fear. They will worship me, and they will not associate anything with me. Then whoso disbelieve after that, they will be the rebellious. The premise of this reality is based on the last part of the prophecy that stated that the emergence of the second manifestation of Khilafat on the precept of prophethood. This, of course, has opened the door of much controversy among Muslims. Some have the belief that prophethood has ended, whilst many others believe that Jesus, son of Mary, will return. There are other prophecies made by Holy Prophet pertaining to these events, and they are, I quote, number one, how can my followers be destroyed when I am at the beginning and Jesus, son of Mary, at their end? And this is from Masnad Ahmad, Kanzal Amal, volume 7, page 208. Then Rasulullah continued, he said, how will you be when Mary's son will descend among you, and he will be your guide from amongst you? Bukhari, Book of Prophets. And he repeated the news in these words, I swear by him who has my life in his hand, that the Son of Mary will indeed descend among you, and he will arbitrate with justice. Bukhari, Book of Prophets. These hadiths confirms that the door of her prophethood is not closed. The Holy Prophet also gave the tidings of a great Imam, the Imam Mahdi, who would appear along with Jesus, son of Mary. He said, when this Imam would appear, if you have to crawl over snow-clad mountains, you must do so and convey the salam. Then there is the sign of the prophecy of the heavenly signs, that is the eclipse of the sun and the moon, as a sign for the advent of the Imam Mahdi. My friends, we believe that the Imam Mahdi and Messiah is one, and the claimant is Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, alayhi salam, the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat. He claimed to be a prophet from the Ummah of Hazrat Muhammad, not with the law, not with a new law, but for the rejuvenation of Islam. After his passing on the precepts of prophethood, the second manifestation of Khilafat was ushered in since 1908, May 27. 112 years has passed since this revival began. Many are opposed to this Khilafat and its followers, but for the fair-minded comparisons, but for the fair-minded comparisons can be made. Presently, in the Muslim world, there are continued divisions coupled with bloodshed that occurs daily in places like Iraq, Palestine, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. This is the result of losing the divine leader or imam. The Ahmadiyya Khilafat has over 200 million followers of Islam under its umbrella and in over 200 countries of the world, and is growing daily. Its mandate is to spread the message of Islam to the corners of the earth. Its achievements so far are the building of hundreds of mosques in cities, towns, and villages, translation of the Holy Quran in all the major languages of the world. The desire is to translate it in 100 languages, and I believe they have accomplished over 70 so far. And an aggressive ongoing tabligh campaign aided by a satellite television network, which is known as Muslim Television Ahmadiyya. We believe that this is the revival of Islam under Khilafat and invite all mankind to come forward, study, make comparisons, and take the oath of allegiance. May the peace and blessings of God Almighty be with all of us and those who are seeking the truth. There may be some questions regarding the prophecy in which the Holy Prophet had made that at the beginning of every century, Allah the Almighty would raise a Mujaddid. Question is now that founder of Ahmadiyya Jamaat, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, alayhi salatu wasalam, he himself had said that when I'm gone, then the Ummah will enjoy the bliss of the second manifestation of Khilafat, which we are now being shaded by. The question is, the Mujaddideen, this prophecy which was made, what happens to those Mujaddideen? Will they still come? This is a matter for the scholars. But in my humble opinion, I think there is a few that the office of Mujaddideen will be held by the sitting Khalifa or Khulafa as the time goes by. Now, in the end, I want to share with you some of my personal experience having the good fortune of meeting two Khulafa, that is former Khalifa Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad Qutbul Masih the fourth, or Qutbul Masih Rabi, Rahmatullah alayh, and our President Huzur. I had the good fortune of meeting him, both of them, a few times. In 1985, I traveled with my parents to the United Kingdom to attend the Jalsa Salana at Tilford, Islamabad. At that time, that was a very big achievement of the Jamaat under the stewardship of Qutbul Masih Rabi. In 1985, the very first Jalsa Salana was held at Islamabad. I was young then, and it was exciting for me to travel abroad and to see the UK and to go to Masjid Fazal and then to go to Islamabad. I have shared this story many times, and some of you may have heard it, but I will say it again, and every time I say it, it makes the hair on my skin raise. The thing is, story is, whilst we were there at the Jalsa, the time of Mulakat came, and we from Guyana, we were allowed to join the delegation that came from the Americas. And so we all went to have Mulakat at one time. Mulakat was very brief. Huzur would just embrace you, ask you your name, where you came from, and maybe that's it.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Aftab. Are you still with us? I think his internet got disconnected, so we should just give him a second to join us again. Meantime, I'm sharing a screen of the fourth Khalifa of
Assalamu
whom.
alaikum. Are you
Walaikum
hearing
salam.
me again?
Yes, now we hear you. Yes, you can continue.
Yeah, good. Okay, so I come back to the occasion of the Molakat. We were in this queue to go and meet Huzur, and I was with my father, and he was in front of me, and he said to me that when you shake hands with Huzur, first you must kiss his hand and then embrace.
Assalamu alaikum. I think he got disconnected again. I'm sorry. Apologize for that. Meantime, you can also see the pictures of the fourth Khalifa of whom he's talking about.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. The
Walaikum salam.
internet is yeah. I'll try to end here quickly, but I really want to share the story with you.
You take your
That
time. Take your time.
when
This
I
is
met when I
something. Yeah. It's okay. We can wait,
okay,
and
I
even
have
if
gone
you have to
past my
join
time
again.
already.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. This is something that I'm excited to hear too. Yeah, take your time. I think he got disconnected again.
Yeah, it's disconnected again.
Yes.
So I'll try to complete this quickly.
Hmm.
We were in the queue, and then my father said to me that I should kiss Huzur's hand and then embrace. So I'm saying to myself, what is he telling me that I have to go and kiss this man's hand? I was like not very keen on this thing. But then as we were getting closer, my father did a strange thing. He said, "You come in front of me, so you will go first." So I thought to myself that if I wanted to do my own thing, I can't do it now. He will be behind me, so he will see exactly what is going on. However, when I met Huzur and I embraced him, that was a moment which I can never forget. The embrace is as if something was being transmitted through my whole body. I could feel this energy, and immediately my whole feeling of what was going on in my mind prior to then had changed. As most people would know, Kavta Masiravi has this nur on his face, this luminous aura that he's carrying all the time. That when you see him, you see this light that is being focused all the time. Whilst in London, you would know that during that time there was no MTA, and at the Fazal Mosque, Huzur will come down to go to for prayers. Whilst he will cross that short step of that few steps from the Mahmud Hall to the door of the Fazal Mosque, lots of people will come there just to have a glimpse of the Khalifa, just to see his face, just as bright as we are now seeing it on these pictures. It is such a wonderful time. It's such a wonderful occasion, and every time I recall in my mind, I I can't help but shivering. Later in 1989, I went back to the United Kingdom and I attended the Jamaat Jubilee celebration, centenary celebration rather. and there was a function at the Fazal Mosque in the back. They had some marquees set up there. I had the chance of seeing Huzur then, again, meeting with him. And then later in that same year, on the occasion of Eid al-Fitr, at Islamabad again, I had the chance of meeting Huzur again. And after the Eid Salah, Huzur came and he greeted each and every one of us that we were in the Saf. One Saf would stand at a time, and he would come and embrace and say salam to each and every one of us. Those moments, they are so valuable for me. Then later again in that year, my parents traveled again to the United Kingdom. We went back again to Justice Salana, Islamabad. So I had the good fortune of meeting Huzur 3 times in that year. And then again, in 1990, when Huzur came to Guyana, all of us had the chance of meeting him and sharing some of those experiences at the different occasions. Being around for a lot of occasions, even when Huzur went on his exercise morning walk.
Unfortunately, I think we have lost.
Assalamualaikum. I think I will end here. I think I will end here because I've gone long past my time, so that the others will get opportunity to continue.
Jazakumullah. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah. Thank you so much. I was actually very excited to hear what Brother Aftab have to say. His personal experience meeting the Khalifa, the fourth Khalifa, and he hasn't, he yet have to come to the fifth Khalifa. So maybe some other time we will listen to him again, inshallah. Previously, we were trying to listen to Brother Shahrukh Hassan, and so now I invite him to come and present presentation on Khilafat in Islam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Amma ba'dahu fa'uzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I must apologize for the lateness, I should say, or the sound not working earlier. Inshallah, I'm here now. I'm going to speak to you a bit about the Khilafat. Is a lot of information, so I try to concise it a bit so everybody can understand what it's all about. So without further ado, I'll start. The word Khilafat means succession, and the Khilafat is a successor to a prophet of Allah, whose goal is to carry to completion the task of reformation and moral training that were seeded by the Prophet ﷺ. The community of followers of a Prophet of Allah continues to nurture its faith and practice under the blessing of the institution of Khilafat for as long as Allah wishes. I want to mention a very important verse from the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Nur, verse 56. It says that Allah had promised to those among you who believe and do good work, that he will surely make them successors in the earth, as he made successors from among those who were before them, and that he will surely establish for them the religion which he has chosen for them, and that he will surely give them in exchange security and peace after their fear. They will worship me, and they will not associate anything with me. Then those who is ungrateful after that, they will be rebellious. I think that's a very precise verse when it comes to the solution of Khilafat. So just as Allah appoints a prophet, He also appoints a Khilafah as well. He chooses the person who is most eligible to become one and guides a group of pious believers into manifesting His will through a process of selection called Khilafah. So without further ado, the first Khilafah, or the first successor, which I want to speak about, is Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. He was born in 572 AD in Mecca. He was a close friend of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the first among men to confirm the truth of the claim of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and thus earned the title Siddiq. He was in the company of the Holy Prophet during his migration to Hijrah from Mecca to Medina. He was the only companion of the Holy Prophet ﷺ in the cave of Tahur, where they both took refuge during this journey. After the start demise of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hazrat Abu Bakr was elected the first Khilafah. He had to deal with an extremely difficult situation which developed due to the sudden demise of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The first problem was that some of the tribes renounced Islam simply because the tribal chief did not feel necessary to remain loyal to a successor of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Not only that, but they started preparing to attack Medina to end the newly established institution of Khilafah. Hazrat Abu Bakr, after knowing of their intention, sent troops and succeeded in suppressing this rebellion. One of the many great achievements of his Khilafat was the collection of the Holy Quran at one place. Although the writing and arrangement of the Holy Quran was done under the supervision of the Holy Prophet ﷺ himself, yet it was written in various places on pieces of skin, leaves, and slates. Abu Bakr collected all of these pieces of writing in one place and reorganized the system of Hufaz, or those who committed to memory, in a systematic way for the preservation of the Quran. Hazrat Abu Bakr passed away on August 23rd, 634 AD, after remaining ill for 15 days. He was one of the 10 blessed ones whom the Holy Prophet ﷺ had given the glad tidings that they has been rewarded in paradise. So that is Hazrat Abu Bakr. Following Hazrat Abu Bakr, the second successor became Hazrat Umar bin Khattab. His personal name was Umar Farooq with his title, and Ibn al-Khattab, his family name. He was born in 581 AD in Mecca and belonged to a noble family of the Quraysh. He was a renowned businessman and used to lead trade delegation to Syria and Iraq. When the Holy Prophet ﷺ announced his claim to prophethood, Hazrat Umar bin Khattab was a fierce opponent of Islam. So much so that one day he took up his sword and left his house with the intention to kill the Holy Prophet ﷺ. On his way, someone told him to first deal with his own sister and brother-in-law, who had already accepted Islam. He went straight to them and knocked at the door. He could hear the Holy Quran being recited inside the house. This made him furious, and he started beating his brother-in-law and also wounded his sister, who tried to protect her husband. His wounded sister stated in a resolute voice, "Omar, you may beat us as much as you like, but we are not going to give up our faith." This made him calm down, and he asked them to recite a portion of the Holy Quran for him. He was so moved by the Quranic verse that his eyes filled with tears. He went straight to the Prophet ﷺ and accepted Islam. And he was a strong, fearless, and influential man of Mecca. He proved to be a source of strength for the Muslim. The miraculous change in Hazrat Umar was, in fact, the result of the Holy Prophet ﷺ's prayers. Hazrat Umar bin Khattab was the second successor of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. During his Khilafat, the Muslim had to fight a number of battles against Iraq, Syria, and Egypt. As a result of this, vast area of these countries came under the Muslim rule. When the city of Jerusalem in Palestine was conquered by the Muslim in 17 Hijri, Hazrat Umar himself visited the city on the request of the Romans and signed a treaty between the Muslim and the people of Jerusalem. More importantly, Hazrat Umar established a splendid system of administration in the Islamic State. Some of his main achievement includes the establishment of Majlis Shura, a consultative body of advisors to Khilafah. Another achievement includes the division of the whole Islamic State into provinces to facilitate administration. Another great achievement includes the establishment of a finance department and building of schools and mosques in different parts of the state. And he was the one who also introduced the Islamic calendar of Hijrah. Sadly, in 644 AD, Hazrat Umar was stabbed by a Persian slave while he was offering prayers in a mosque. This proved fatal and he passed away at the age of 63 on the 26th of Dhul Hijjah, 23 AD, AH. He was truly a great Khilafat whose period of Khilafat was undoubtedly a golden period in the history of Islam. Moving on to the third successor, Hazrat Uthman bin Affan. His period of reign from 644 AD after the death of Hazrat Umar to 656 AD. Hazrat Umar Ghani was elected the third Khilafah by the council appointed by Hazrat Umar shortly before his death. Hazrat Uthman Ghani belonged to a well-known family, the Banu Umayyah of the Quraysh. His lineage can be traced back to the Holy Prophet ﷺ in the 5th generation before him. His generosity for the poor was so well known that he earned the title Ghani. Hazrat Uthman embraced Islam through the preaching of his close friend, Hazrat Abu Bakr. He was the fourth person to embrace Islam, but he faced much hardship as his uncle started persecuting him. He migrated twice, first to Abyssinia and then to Medina. During the Khilafat of Hazrat Uthman, the Islamic Empire expanded further still. A rebellion in Iran was crushed, and in the north, the Romans were once again defeated by the Muslim forces led by Hazrat Amir. Then the Romans came by sea to invade Egypt, but were only again repelled by the Muslim forces. As a result of this battle, the whole of Iran, Asia, and Egypt came under Muslim control. It was during his Khilafat that a navy and an Islamic fleet was established. Also, during his Khilafat, standard copy of the Holy Quran was prepared from the one compiled by Hazrat Abu Bakr and sent to all provinces and states. This was certainly his most important deed. The Holy Quran, as you see it today, was compiled during his Khilafat and under his direct supervision. The last 6 years of his Khilafat, however, passed in chaos and conflict due to the conspiracy of a certain group, including that of the Abdullah bin Shaba, a Jew who became a Muslim with an intention of weakening the Islamic State. Hazrat Uthman was then martyred on June 17, 656 AD, at the age of 82, while he was reciting the Holy Quran. He certainly sacrificed his life for the integrity of Khilafat in the best interest of Islam. And moving on to the fourth successor, Hazrat Ali ibn Talib. His period of Khilafat reigned from 656 to 661 AD. With the death of Hazrat Uthman, state of Medina was in complete disorder and anarchy ruled in the city. After 5 years of political wrangling, Ibn Shaba, leader of the Islamic rebel group, supported the cause of Hazrat Ali. on the grounds that he was the rightful Khilafat in whose favor the Holy Prophet ﷺ has made will. On June the 23rd, 656 AD, six days after the death of Hazrat Uthman, Hazrat Ali was chosen as the fourth successor of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and the public swore allegiance at his hand one by one. Hazrat Ali was the son of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his uncle Abu Talib. He was born in Mecca about 20 years after the birth of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. When Hazrat Ali was born, the Holy Prophet ﷺ himself became his guardian, as his father's financial position was very weak. Hazrat Ali was a brave and skilled warrior. He participated in almost all the battles along with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Hazrat Ali was married to Hazrat Fatima, who was the daughter of the Holy Prophet. Soon after his election, Hazrat Ali moved to the capital of the Muslim state of Medina, to Kufa in Iraq, which was more of a central place. After his election, he faced the popular demands of Muslims, including influential companions of the Holy Prophet, like Hazrat Talha and Hazrat Zubair, to immediately punish the murderers of Hazrat Uthman. However, Hazrat Ali tried his best to avoid fighting and bloodshed, but all his efforts failed. Unfortunately, a battle took place between his forces and that of Hazrat Aisha. However, Hazrat Talha and Hazrat Zubair left their forces even before the battle and were killed by some other opponents. Hazrat Aisha's forces was defeated, but Hazrat Ali gave her due respect and took care of her safety. He sent her back to Medina in the escort of her brother, Muhammad bin Abu Bakr. The battle was called the Battle of Jamal, which is camel, because Hazrat Aisha rode a camel during the battle. Later, Hazrat Aisha was regretful throughout her life to have fought Hazrat Ali. After the Battle of Jamal, Hazrat Ali urged Amir Munawa, who had not yet taken the bayat of Hazrat Ali, to submit to him in the best interest of Islam. But Amir Munawa refuses to submit on the pretext that the blood of Hazrat Uthman, who also belonged to the family of the Umayyah, must be avenged first. A large group of people who were basically against the proposal of arbitration separated from Hazrat Ali and chose an independent Amir for themselves. This group was called the Kajwarji, the outsider. At first, Hazrat Ali tried to persuade them to submit to him, but failed. This led to a fierce battle, which which most of the Kajwarji were killed. After this crushing defeat, the Kajwarji planned to assassinate Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Amir Munawa, and Amar bin As. The later two escaped from the attempts on their life. Hazrat Ali was fatally wounded by his attacker while going to the mosque for Fajr prayer. 2 days later, this courageous and pious Khalifa passed away on the 20th Ramadan, 40 AH. Undoubtedly, Hazrat Ali sacrificed his life for the integrity of Khilafat. He was one of the 10 blessed ones, of whom the Holy Prophet ﷺ has given his glad tidings that they had been rewarded in paradise. That brings me to the end of the presentation, which includes the four Khilafat. I must end with all praise for Allah. In the end,
Jazakumullah. Jazakumullah. Thank you very much, brother. Indeed, it was a very difficult task to summarize, the four Khalifa just in 10 minutes. But you did amazing job. I must say, I must commend you that you did amazing job. Just want to give one more point here when you mentioned Hazrat Aisha fought Hazrat Ali. Recently, Hazur gave a Friday sermon, I think before the holy month of Ramadan, in which he talked about this fight, the Battle of Jamal. and he mentioned that actually they came to agreement and there was truce, and but the hypocrites who were hidden, they actually started the battle, not the Hazrat Aisha. So eventually there was like agreement between two of them. Anyways, going to the next topic now, that is Khilafat in Ahmadiyyat. And again, it will be very difficult task, and we inshallah, brother Muzaffar will do his best to summarize the Khilafat in Ahmadiyyat. Brother Muzaffar,
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
All right, I will just be doing a brief introduction on the five Khalifa of the Ahmadiyya community. All right, Hazrat Hakim Nuruddin was the first successor to the Prophet Messiah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon them, and he was the Khalifa for the period between May 27, 1908 to March 13, 1914. He was born in 1814 at Bira, Punjab, which is located in Pakistan. He also learned the Holy Quran from his mother. And also at the age of 25, he traveled to Mecca and Medina, where he studied the Hadith and performed Hajj. Throughout the journey, he met renowned teachers and saints, where he himself matured into a learned scholar of Quranic studies, language, and natural medicine. He was able to establish a school of Quranic studies and a clinic that offered treatment in natural medicine. He was also able to memorize the entire Holy Quran. On March 28, 1989, he was the first person to take bayat at the hands of the Promised Messiah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon them. After the sad demise of the Promised Messiah, Hadrat Hakim Nuruddin was elected as the first Caliph. 1,200 members took bayat at his hands, and under his leadership, the unity of the community was established. All right, I'll be moving to the second Caliph. Hadrat Mizra Bashir Mahmud Ahmad was the second successor of the Promised Messiah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon them. He was the Caliph for the period of March 14, 1914 to November 8, 1965. He was a distinguished Caliph because his birth was foretold by a number of previous prophets and saints. In accordance with the divine prophecy, it was foretold that he would be extremely intelligent and highly learned. Due to his persistent ill health, his academic career came to an end. However, he started learning the translation of the Holy Quran and Hadith from Hadrat Hakim Nuruddin. He developed into a great scholar and had mastery over many subjects such as religion, history, and literature. At the age of 16, in 1905, he received his first divine revelation, and 2 years after, an angel taught him the commentary of the Surah Fatiha. He was only 19 years old when the Prophet Messiah had passed away, peace and blessings upon him. He made a pledge to his deceased father, and this pledge was, quote, "Even if all the people should abandon you, I will stand alone against the whole world, not caring for any opposition or enmity," end quote. On March 14, 1914, Hazrat Bashir was unanimously elected as the second Khalifa, and under his leadership, the Ahmadiyya community progressed leaps and bounds. All right, I'll be moving to the third Khalifa. Hadrat Hafiz Mirza Nasir Ahmad was the third successor of the Promised Messiah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon them, between the period of November 8, 1965 to June 9, 1982. He was the son of the second Khalifa and grandson to the Promised Messiah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon them. He became Hafiz at the age of 13 years old when he completed the memorization of the Holy Quran. He gained the degree of religious scholar and also a master's degree from Oxford University. After the passing of the second Khalifa, Hazrat Mirza Nasir Ahmad was elected as the third Khalifa. Around 5,000 members, 5,000 Ahmadiyas performed bayat at his hand. And under his leadership and guidance, the Ahmadi community was able to survive the attacks when Pakistan declared us a non-Muslim organization or community. I'll be moving forward to the fourth Khalifa. Mirza Tahir Ahmad was the fourth successor of the Promised Messiah, peace and blessing Allah be upon them, between the period of June 10, 1982 to April 19, 2003. He was born in Qadian on December 18, 1928. He was the son of the second Khalifa. In 1953, he obtains the degree of Shahid, religious scholar, from Jami Amidat from Rawah, Pakistan. After the passing of the third Khalifa, Tahir Ahmad was elected as the fourth Khalifa, where all participants took bayat at his hand. And under his leadership, the community launched the first Muslim satellite television network. And moving on to our current Khalifat, Hazrat Mirza Masur Ahmad. Is a period from April 19, 2003 to currently. Is the fifth successor of the Prophet Society, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, was born in Rabah, Pakistan on September 15, 1950. He obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Master of Science degree in Agriculture and Economics. Hadrat Masur Ahmad and Kazim Ahmad are the first persons to successfully grow wheat in Ghana, which paves the way for Ghana's self-sufficiency in wheat. After the passing of fourth Caliphate, Mirza Masur Ahmad was elected as the fifth Caliph. It was the first time in history the election of the Caliph was held outside of Indo-Pakistan subcontinent, and Ahmadi Muslims from all over the world could follow the proceedings live on MT International. The current Khalifa, Hadrat Masur Ahmad, is guiding the community through a time of great global skepticism and animosity towards Islam, and also through this current pandemic of coronavirus. This has brought me to my end. Thank you, everybody. It was brief. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Jazakumullah. Thank you so much. Indeed, you did a very good job, excellent job to summarize, the five khulafa. Again, as I said, was a difficult job, but you did an excellent job. The next in today's program is a poem will be presented by our young Tifal Alian Shahzad, and he will present that poem before you. This poem will be on Khilafat.
हमारा हिलाफत पे ईमान है, ये मिल्लत की तंजीम की जान है, इसी से हर एक मुश्किल आसान है, गुरेज है इससे जो वो नादान है, रहेंगे हिलाफत से वाबस्ता हम, जमात का कायम है इससे बरम, हमारा हिलाफत पे ईमान है, ये मिल्लत की तंजीम की जान है.
Excellent, mashallah. Jazakumullah, thank you so much. It was maybe first time for him to present this poem on Zoom, but he did an excellent job. The summary of this poem is that we believe in Khilafat, and this is the soul of the unity of the millat, of the nation, and through this the whole nation is united. Every difficulty is easy through this, and those who abstain or those who avoid Khilafat, they are the ignorant one. we will always belong to Khilafat, and the Jamaat will be established through this. This is just, paraphrasing the translation of this poem. Jazakumullah, thank you very much. Now we are coming close to the end of the program. We have only two more speeches left, and the second last speech will be presented by Maulana Abdurrahman Khan Sahib, missionary of Barbiz Jamaat, and the topic of his speech is blessings of Khilafat. Maulana Sahib.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات ليستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا ومن كفر بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون. The translation of the verse in English is, Allah's promise to those among you who believe and do good works, that He will surely make them successors, Khulafa, in the earth, as He made successful from among those who were before them, and that He will surely establish for them their religion, which He has chosen for them, and that He will surely give them in exchange security and peace after their fear. They will worship me, and they will not associate anything with me. Then whoso is ungrateful after that, they will be the rebellious. Surah Nur, chapter 24, verse 36 of the Holy Quran. The present verse embodies the promise that Muslims will be both spiritual and temporal leadership. The promise is made to the whole Muslim nation. But the institution of Khilafat will take a powerful form in the person of a certain individuals who will be the Prophet's successor and representatives rather of the whole nation. They will be, as it were, Khilafah personified. The verse further states that the fulfillment of this verse will depend on the Muslims observing the prayers and giving the zakah, and on their obeying the Messenger of Allah in all religious and temporal matters concerning the nation. When they will have fulfilled these conditions, the boon, this promise of Khilafat will be restored upon them, and they will be made the leaders of nations. Their state of fear will give place to a condition of safety and security. Islam will reign supreme in the world above all because of the oneness and unity of God, taqwa, tawheed rather, the real purpose and object of Islam will be firmly established. The promise of the establishment of Khilafat is clear and unmistakable. As the Holy Prophet is now humanity's sole guide for all time, his Khilafat must continue to exist in one form or another in the world till the end of time. All other Khalifas having ceased, to exist anymore. This is among many others the Holy Prophet's distinct superiority over all other messengers and prophets of God. Our age has witnessed the greatest spiritual Khalifa in the person of Hadrat Mirza Ghulam Muhammad al-Qadiani, alayhi salatu wasalam, the promised Messiah, and Imam Mahdi. The Quran Majid has mentioned three kinds of Khalifa. Khulafas who are prophets such as Adam, David, etc. Number two, prophets who are Khulafa of another greater prophet, such as the Israeli prophets, who were all the Khulafa of Moses, including Jesus Christ. And number three, non-prophet Khalifa or a prophet with or without temporal prophets uh, powers, such as godly people who learned into law. Their mission was to protect and preserve the law from being tampered with. Briefly, the verse which I have just explained about the categories of Khilafat and the Holy Prophets are some rightly guided Khulafa Rashida, and the promised Messiah and his successors, the spiritual reformers and Mujaddideen between the demise of the last Khalifa, Hazrat Ali Karamallahu Wajahu, to the time of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, the Islam has given this prophecy, the Holy Prophet has given the prophecy about such Mujaddideen who will come, but they were truly not the Khulafa mentioned here. The verse may also be regarded as embodying a prophecy which was made at a time when Islam was very weak and idols were being worshipped throughout Arabia, at that time known as Hijaz, and the Muslims were very small in number and they feared for their very lives. And yet, in the course of only a generation, the prophecy was literally fulfilled. Idolatry disappeared from Arabia, and Islam became firmly established not only in Arabia, but also reigned supreme in other parts of the world. And those who were the followers of the Holy Prophet, they were the ones who established this promise. They were the one who, conveyed this promise to the people who became new Muslims. They were traders and such people who visited far-flung areas of the world. Does the hadith tell us anything about this prophet? The Holy Prophet Sallallahu radiallahu anhu, there's a hadith. And Hudayfa, قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم تكون النبوة فيكم ما شاء أن تكون ثم يرفع الله تعالى أن يرفعها ثم تكون خلافة على منهاج النبوة فتكون ما شاء الله أن تكون ثم يرفعها الله تعالى إذا شاء الله أن يرفعها ثم تكون ملقا بل فيكون ما شاء الله أن يكون ثم يرفعها إذا شاء الله أن يرفعها ثم تكون ملقا جبرية فتكون ما شاء الله أن تكون ثم يرفعها إذا شاء أن يرفعها ثم تكون خلافة على منهاج النبوة. You can see the translation on the screen. Prophethood shall remain among you as long as Allah wills it. He will bring about its end, follow it with khilafah on the precepts of prophethood for as long as he shall and will, and then bring about its end. A tyrannical monarchy will then follow and will remain as long as Allah shall and will, and then that will come to an end. Then there will follow thereafter monarchical despotism to last as long as Allah shall will and come to an end upon his decree. Then there will emerge once again Khilafat on the precept of prophethood. The Holy Prophet Islam said no more about this. Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal. The primary function of Khilafah or Khalifa is to carry out the message of the Prophet into the future without losing the spirit of the message. This task is best accomplished when the community is united and strong. And the community cannot be united and strong without the institution of leadership and Khilafah. Moreover, It is the responsibility of the Khalifa to admonish us with the help of Allah to stay on the right path. These are the blessings of Khilafah, which gives us peace and security of mind. However, it is our responsibility to prove ourselves worthy of this blessed Khilafah. The purpose of the institution of the Khilafah is to bring about people closer to Almighty Allah. Allah sends forth prophets to remind people that Allah is the ultimate reality and everyone should completely devote oneself toward this ultimate reality. After the prophets complete their mission, the challenge is to maintain the unity of the community and to keep the community on the right path. This task require a leader who has a strong faith and a high level of righteousness. Khalifa is such a leader who is elected by the people but chosen by Almighty Allah. Now, the question arises concerning the Khulafa-e-Rashidin, the non-Ahmadi Muslims, including the Shias. Well, Shias have some questions there, but the Sunni, Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, all 40 and more groups, they are unanimous in accepting all Khulafa-e-Rashidin without exception. This verse of the Holy Quran, chapter 24, verse 56, they are at dispute how to explain that this Khilafah will continue after the demise of Hazrat Ali Karamallahu Wajahu, how it will continue. They accepted some of the so-called Khulafa and some didn't accept, but they are at a loss to really know who is the true Khalifa. Now the hadith of the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that there will be dictators and there will be such people who will come in the name of Khulafa, and you heard Brother Aftab spoke about them. There were different regimes of Khulafa, and none of them were elected by Allah after the demise of Hadrat. And none of them had the blessing actually of Hadrat of Allah after the demise of Hadrat Ali Karamallahu Wajhah. Therefore, when the Holy Prophet said, ثم يرفع الله تعالى, that this will come to an end. ثم تكون خلافة على منهاج النبوة. Now this Khilafah will once again emerge on the pattern along the lines of prophethood. Who is this prophet? In the latter age, when such Khulafa or a line of Khulafa will come, and that person, they will tell you themselves that when Isa ibn Maryam will come, then the revival of Islam will take place, as I had spoken before during Ramadan, on the rejuvenation of Islam, and that is actually what has taken place, and they have failed. Majority of them who are attacking the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, they have failed to accept the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam as Imam Mahdi and a Masihi Maud promised Messiah. Then after the demise of the first Khalifa within the Ahmadiyya Jamaat itself, in 1919 in Qadian, in the vicinity of Masjid Noor, 1914, there was a dispute about who should be the Khalifa, and then a small group went to Lahore under the leadership of Maulana Muhammad Ali, and they thereafter named themselves Ahmadiyya Anjuman Ishat Islam. They had spread in the English-speaking part of the colonies of the world, where the British had colonies and Indian people had migrated and they knew English, and some other people too, and especially they targeted these people, and including Guyana, and many of them had joined this Anjuman Ishate Islam without knowing that there is a original Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat under the leadership of Khilafat. When they got to know, they moved away immediately from this Anjuman Ishat Islam, and they joined the Jamaat and at Sisters Village in Berbice, where the first community started in 1960. These were the people who had some little connection with the Lahoris and at Rosicno also. They had some people, and other parts of the country, there were a few who later on, when they got to know when Maulana Bashir Ahmad Archard, may Allah be pleased with him, came to Guyana and established the Jamaat and announced that he was the representative of Hadrat Muslim Maud radiallahu an, the second Khalifa. Many people were eager to listen to him, and they took the Ba'at at his hands to join the Jamaat and to enter into this divine community. And the community grew from strength to strength. But I'll tell you what, when those people were leaving and going to Lahore, they took away the typewriter and the manuscript of the Holy Quran translation in English and the pouch which had the collection of the Chanda. The Chanda system was not fully established then in those days. And they turned around to Qadian and they say, "Wahan pe Ulu bolenge." There will be fools only remaining there. And today, Qadian is the international permanent center of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, where Minarat al-Masih stands tall, and every year, all the time during the year, people would go and visit Qadian and visit the grave of the promised Messiah and see for themselves that the Messiah is buried here and make dua where Hadrat Nuruddin is also buried. So we are lucky. We who belong to the Jamaat, Hadrat Muslim Maud says, according to the Quran, till the end of time, you will continue to be blessed with spiritual life and material vision from God. And the people of other religions and nations will receive this light from you. This spiritual life and material vision will empower you to invite others towards Islam, and such ability in you, in other words, it is called Khilafah. Without the blessings of Khilafah, this Jamaat is nothing, nothing, totally useless. It is because of Khilafah we are alive. Hence, Khilafah is the source of tabligh, talim, and tarbiyat in the community. Every Friday, we can listen to His Holiness, Hadrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, Ayadahullah Ta'ala bin Aziz, may Allah strengthen him with his divine help through MTA, on our tablets, on our cell phones, on our computers. We can listen to him in as much as 8 languages sometimes. The most basic function of Khalifa is to carry the message of the Prophet into the future. Which Prophet? The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Remember well, Hadrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam is a Khalifa of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the message that we are carrying forward is the same as the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And therefore, this task is best accomplished when the community is united and strong. And the community cannot be united and strong without the institution of Khilafah. Hadrat Khalifatul Masih IV says that in Islam, this is quite clear like broad daylight, and in a part of Islamic teachings that without unity and harmony, you cannot rightly work on the teachings of Islam. When you go to the mosque for namaz, salah, 5 times a day, and there must be an imam standing behind an imam, is a demonstration of unity among people. That is why the Holy Quran especially emphasizes the need of congregational prayers. Imam is given so much importance that if the imam falters, the entire congregation must follow his mistake, even if they know that the mistake has been committed. According to this excerpt of Khalifatul Masih Rabi Rahmullah Alai, Imam is a necessary figure in a mosque. Then how can the whole Muslim Ummah continue its journey without an Imam? We are lucky that Khalifatul Masih IV Rahmullah Alai visited us here in Guyana in 1991, and he spent 2 days with us, and he met the president and the prime minister and some other individuals, and we invited the Lahoris also to come and see the Khalifa for yourself in this country. Many of them met with him, but they did not benefit from his grace and his person. Now, according to Khalifatul Masih Athani radiallahu an Hazrat Muslim Maud, Khalifa has two primary objectives. One is to save the Jamaat from contamination of any kind, and second is to unite and direct the individual powers of all members under one leadership. In other words, when the community is united and all individual talents, skills, and passions are channeled and coordinated and guided by the Khalifa, it becomes easier for the Jamaat to achieve its goal. Khalifatul Masih the first, radiallahu anh, Hadrat Nuruddin al-Hakim, for instance, arranged for the education of the community by setting up religious newspapers and schools. When the Jamaat became bigger, it was Khalifatul Masih Thani radiallahu anh, who established auxiliary organizations to ensure that the new converts and current members and their children were taught the true Islam and Ahmadiyya. We have the Ansarullah, Khudamul Ahmadiyya, Atfalul Ahmadiyya, Lajna Imaila, Nasirat al-Ahmadiyya, all established by Hadrat Khalifatul Masih II radiallahu anh. You can see his picture on the screen. Khalifatul Masih III established libraries and schools in Africa. Khalifatul Masih IV established MTA for the spiritual training of Ahmadis and Tabligh to humanity across the globe. All these great achievements are only possible if the community is united under a leadership, and in turn, these great achievements ensure that the message of Islam is transmitted to the whole world in its true form and spirit. It is the job of the Khalifa to constantly admonish us, particularly through the weekly khutbah we are getting through MTA, and to keep us on the right track. After listening to Huzur, Ayadahullah Ta'ala Nasrul Aziz in his khutbah, how many times we feel that we are stepping away from God Almighty, but his khutbah reminds us that what good life is and how we should live by it. In this pandemic of coronavirus, Huzur has lovingly explained to us the Jamaat has supplied us with homeopathic medicines, and everybody is concerned, the Jamaat is concerned for every single Ahmadi that nobody should fall victim of this coronavirus. Khalifatul Masih II, he says, under the Islamic system of government, Khilafat is separate from the state. Under the Islamic system, there will be a head of state who will take part and take care of political, social, and economical matters. The system of Khilafat will be parallel structure, whose sole job will be the spiritual welfare of the people and the guidance of the state. Thus, we can say that Khalifa serves a crucial function in the affairs of society and state by constantly guiding us and admonishing us about moral and spiritual matters. However, in his book Al-Wasiyat, the will, the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wasalam, says that Khilafat after his demise will continue forever. He said again, don't expect that Allah will help you if you have even the slightest consideration of worldliness in your affairs. All your worship is useless. If you do so, you are following Satan and not Allah. In that situation, you will only be like an insect on the earth, and soon you will perish like an insect. Thus there will be no God in you, and God will be happy to wipe you out. Allah has granted us the blessings of Khilafat, but it is up to us whether we benefit from it or not. Remember, the blessings alone will not take us to our destination. That is why Allah says in the Holy Quran, وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا زَادَهُمْ هُدًى وَآتَاهُمْ تَقْوَاهُمْ. But as for those who follow guidance, He adds to their guidance and bestows on them righteousness suited to their situation. Chapter 47, verse 18 of the Holy Quran. In other words, we have to prove ourselves worthy of the blessings of Khilafah. Hadrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam says, Baya is only a seed. The seed can become a fruit unless the soil is prepared and regularly watered and fertilized and constantly protected by the farmer. Unless a farmer does all these things, he can't hope to reap the crop. Thus, the crop will only belong to the one who remains complete and the whole time farmer. In simple words, Baya is only the beginning, and the final outcome of the journey depends upon how we take care of the seed and transform it into a rich crop. The guide of our journey has to be the Holy Quran, life and sayings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to study the books of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. But the leader and the Imam has to be the Khalifa. We must listen to him. We must obey him. We must let him know about our activities. We must seek his prayers. May Allah help us to improve our level of taqwa so that we can become the strong hands of the Khalifa al-Masih Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, and we continue to deserve the blessings of Khilafah for all times to come. As you all know, I am a Guyanese, and I went to study in Rabwa in 1980 at the time of Khalifatul Masih III. So perhaps among Guyanese Ahmadis, I'm the only person who have been able to meet with the third Khalifa, the fourth Khalifa, and the present Khalifa. And I have been lucky to sit with and listen to the ashab, the sahabi of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. And in this respect, I am blessed to be a tabi of promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, his companion. I am humble to know that I have achieved these things, but I don't know that I've been blessed in this respect. Until I listen to other people, then I realize that Allah has blessed me with these things. When Khalifatul Masih III, Rahmatullah alayhi, passed away, they were sending me to Qadian to give the information that he is at the last, and somebody from Qadian should come, Mirza Wasim Ahmad Sahib. But because this was my first time, I didn't travel before. They had to send one of my other colleagues from Ghana instead, and thus I was not able to. I remember those things very, very well, and Allah has blessed us all that we are all united under the branch, the blessings of Khilafah. When I came back from Jamia Rabwa, Khalifat al-Masih, the fourth, radiallahu, rahmullah, he said to me, he wrote, he said, send your particulars to Qadian and you shall get a wife from there. I sent it to Hadrat Mirza Wasim Ahmad, rahmullah, and he sent me the good news that there is such a person who is your kafaf, who's suitable for you. And that is all. We are blessed in Guyana that we have somebody from Kenya who is the wife of the missionary and the mother of these five Wakifin. I am grateful to Almighty Allah that I am amongst you. We should work hard for the propagation of Islam Ahmadiyya. We are blessed under Khilafah. And the people out there should know about this blessing. May Allah bless us all and help us to achieve maximum blessings from the institution of the Khilafah. And our last words are, all praise belongs to Allah, Lord of all.
Jazakumullah, Sanal Jazak. Thank you very much, Mulana Sahib. I must apologize to our audience, our members, that I know it's really late, but we have come to the end of our program, and last program is by yours truly, and the topic is importance of Khilafat. Although the allocated time from myself was 15 minutes, but I will reduce to 5 minutes. I will try to finish my whole speech in 5 minutes, inshallah. And I will just cover only those that information that is not covered by our previous speakers, because there's no point repeating what they have already said. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. As I mentioned that the topic of my speech today is the importance of Khilafat. And the verse from the Holy Quran has been mentioned before, which is from Surah Nur, chapter 24, verse number 56, which clearly talks about the Khilafat, the institution of Khilafat, the institution of successors. In English, we translate Khilafat as successors. In Arabic or in Urdu, we call Khilafat. Khilafat is the institution. Khalifa, Khalifa is the person who holds that institution. So that Khilafat, the institution of Khilafat or successorship, is mentioned in this verse, and not only mentioned, but it is also you can say prophesied. But there are some conditions are mentioned, which some of my speakers before me spoke about that. I just want to highlight a couple of those features. Allah says, Allah has promised to those among you who believe and do good works that He will surely make them successors in the earth. So, first of all, it is a promise of Allah. And when Allah promises and He fulfills, I mean, Allah gives you. So, the Khilafat is established by Allah Himself. That is one point. Then, number two is that there are two conditions, that those who believe and do good works. So as long as these two conditions are being fulfilled, the Khilafat will remain among Muslims. And we heard some of the speakers who talk about the history of Khilafat in Islam. So you see that in the beginning the Khilafat was there, then later on it changed. So it is a lesson for us, the Ahmadi Muslim community, we who are blessed to have Khilafat, that we need to continue to believe in Khilafat. We need to continue to do good works. And as long as we do these two things, believe in Khilafat and do good works, Allah will bless us and we will have that institution of Khilafat in Ahmadiyya and we will be blessed. Uh, I wanted to talk about the importance of Khilafat to three things. One is through logic or reasoning. Second is, through Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his prophecy, and third is Holy Quran. The Holy Quran verse is clearly mentioned. I just presented before you, and the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also. This hadith has been mentioned actually 2 times in the presentation, so I will skip that. There are a couple more hadiths that is not directly on Khilafat, but that is on the concept of unity, to having one leader. So this first hadith is from Sahih Bukhari. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, "Verily, Imam is a shield." So what does a shield do? Shields protects you, especially in battles, in the war. The shield is the most important thing. It will protect you. So the imam is a shield. That means it will protect you, and it is not an imam to lead the salat. It is the imam who will be the head of the community, which in other words, the khalifa. So Imam literally means the one who is in front, the one who's leading. So Khalifa is also the Imam because he leads, and he is our shield because it's also the same verse which is in Surah An-Nur. I presented before you. There's a verse where Allah says that He will surely give them in exchange security and peace after they fear. So that what basically is the same thing which Holy Prophet ﷺ saying that Imam is the shield. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ also said the Imam is like a shelter for whose safety the Muslims should fight and where they should seek protection. It's the same concept, and it is also from the book of Sahih Bukhari, the most authentic book after the Holy Quran. This is the compilation of the sayings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and this book is the most authentic. The third hadith, the saying of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, in which Holy Prophet ﷺ said, "He who dies in a condition that he has not recognized the Imam of the age dies the death of ignorance." So this also predicts that there will be time when the Imam of the age will come, but some people will not recognize him and will not accept him and will not join him and will not support him. So those people who will not recognize him, they will be like, or their death will be like the death of ignorance. So Holy Prophet ﷺ basically encouraging us to always be vigilant and look out for that Imam. So in the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, we are very fortunate that we have recognized the Imam of the age, first of all, which is the promised Messiah ﷺ, and under his work is being continued, being propagated, being spread throughout the world through the leadership of Khilafat, through the institution of Khilafat. So these are the hadiths and the sayings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ about the importance of Imam, importance of the Khilafat. Without that, we are nothing. Um, the another thing I wanted to talk about is through logic. If you really look at the system that Allah has created, any system you take, whether you take our physical body, human body, you would see that our body would not run without heart. If heart stops, the whole body stops, will be dead. So the heart is the central point. Similarly, if you look at our solar system, our cosmos, our whole solar systems, moon, sun, moon, earth, other planets, they revolve around sun. That is the central point. So if we take away sun, the whole planets will scatter away, and they will be destroyed, because through sun we get the energy, and sun is keeping us together, and we are being revolved around the sun. So Allah has created a system that everything has a central point. Now when we come to the worldly institutions, the worldly system, let's say look at the country. Every country is run by leader. In the past it used to be king, but now we have presidents or prime ministers who are being elected by the people. But there is a central figure, one person who is the leader. If you look at any school, any hospital, any bank, any institution in the worldly system, you would see every institution has a leader, and without that leader, the institution cannot run. I met some Muslims. When you talk to them about Khilafat or about having a one divine leader, they have a lame excuse, I would say. They would say, oh, we have Holy Quran, we have Hadith, so we don't need anything else. If this was the case, then why did Allah send Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? He could have sent the Holy Quran itself. But if you look at the history of religion, every time, whenever Allah sent a book, Allah always sent a prophet. And that prophet is like a teacher who will not only explain the teachings that God reveals to him, but also he is the personification, the manifestation of that teachings. He implements those teachings, and he is the living teaching, you can say. Just like Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was a living Holy Quran. That was said by Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha, that Kana khuluquhul Quran. The Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is his everything is like Holy Quran. So they become like a role model too. That is another wisdom. As a human being, we need a role model. We need somebody that we can say, yes, these teachings are not just, so-called teachings that is impossible to, follow. So Allah sends role model for us, that look, this is a person who can do that. He's a human being like you, so you can also do that too. So it's like a role model, gives us motivation, gives us courage. If you look at the life of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the companions and the Khulafa, all of them are role models for us. So we do need a teacher. Another logical reason I wanted to give you is that if you see a child would say, look, I don't need to go to school, I don't need a teacher, just give me textbooks, and by reading textbooks I would be sufficient, it would be sufficient for me, and I would be able to become doctor or lawyer or whatever I want to be, and I don't need any teacher, I don't need any guru, no mentor. No, everybody would call him, you are stupid, because you need a guide, you need somebody who can guide you, you need somebody who can, help you and who can explain it to you. So this is the system that we are living in. This is the, nature of, you can say, of everything that Allah has created. That without a leader, without a mentor, without a teacher, we cannot fully understand the teaching. We cannot fully comprehend. We cannot fully, follow a teachings. So this is another, you can say, logical reasoning that we need Khilafat. We need a role model. We need a living, a spiritual leader who can guide us. So, those Muslims who say, I think they only say it because they know they don't have that, um, institution. They don't have that blessing. But we, the Ahmadi Muslim community, is very fortunate that we have that system. We that have that, blessing institution where we have that divine leader who is, guiding us all the time. And without, he's like our shield, as Holy Prophet ﷺ said. As Mulana Sahib has also mentioned that, Hazur has been guiding us about the, um, coronavirus. So he's not only just guiding us about the spiritual teaching, he's also guiding us about the worldly things. Now, before I must conclude my speech, but before I do that, I just want to present one quotation of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, the fourth Khalifa of Ahmadi Muslim community. He said, "It is incumbent that Muslims should unite on the hand of one Imam. There should be one Imam of the Muslims of the whole world, but without Khilafat, it is just impossible. Khilafat is the successor after the Prophet in the form of a person who is representing the deceased Prophet, and Khalifa is the vicegerent and his subordinate. He is the central authority. This is the basic principle of Khilafat." This was published in Ahmadiyya Gazette, Canada, the Khilafat number May 2001. So with this quotation, I conclude my speech. I don't want to, prolong the program any longer. Although the next topic was the question answer, but I believe I should skip that, and we should conclude our today's program with the silent prayer. So I must say thank you to the all presenters who work hard and presented, uh, their presentations. So Jazakumullah, Asanul Jaza, may Allah reward them abundantly. Thank you very much. And I also would like to say thank you to all the listeners. And again, I want to apologize that it's gone really late. But thank you very much. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless us. And may Allah enable us to understand the importance of Khilafat. And may Allah enable us to get the full blessings of the Khilafat. If we are behind this shield, as Holy Prophet ﷺ said, behind the Khilafat, we will be safe. If we go in front of the shield thinking that we are, better, or anyhow we don't need him, or we leave that shield, we will be we can be attacked, and we are vulnerable. So may Allah enable us to understand, and may Allah keep us behind this shield, behind the Khilafat. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Let's join hand in the silent prayer. Bismillah. Ameen. Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullah once again. Thank you very much. I just have one announcement to make, that inshallah we will be starting our weekly classes using the same medium. So the announcement will be made. So look out for those announcement and those links. And we will continue our classes. Jazakumullah. Once again, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.